They know I got them vibes, so you know them fans watching me.
They in my chat with the shits. Oh, they must think they can stop me. See, we got rods on the scopes. Now don't get sniped out the lobby.
Is not on me now. Tell me what do you see?
We send the vibes on the nation. LIB and our we in the sky with this shit. Just think it came out.
See, it's 99% count, 1% gameplay, 100% vibes. Don't bring that bullshit my way. Try your luck, go against the vibe. Where you fuck, you gon' think I'm Mike Grable the way I make them tighten up. You'll be lucky if you even score. You should read more, though I choose to live in peace. You should know I bleed war. I'm a recon man, one of the best.
teach you how to
sport.
vibe.
I keep a drone on my hip, I let it out to explore. They say the ops on the way. I see one, I know it's more. They
Let
just
me
ran
teach you how
inside
to
the
vibe.
building. My EMP gon' deploy. Make them panic, play support. Crypto going manic. They try to figure out how I do assault damage. Real just mark the surroundings. I know they can't stand it. Morosky sending out his ghost and they don't understand it. I'm headed to the high grounds to get an overstanding. Now you from a distance, see your partners, they just left you stranded. Damn. You know you headed to the lobby, right? Sorry for your awful fight. I admit it was easy. Get you some practice or you always die. I know you doing that ping thing. They gone, made it out of sniper range. Level 1 knockdown shield. It's been 7 minutes in the fucking game. I'm devoted. Hit you with the devotion, hear it wind up, quick motion. Now I'm headed with the wind to your partners, but I'm focused. See, Goat just hit that beast on the hunt. Ghosts is ghosts, we reloaded, blow the EMP and we done. They know I got them vibes, so you know them fans watching me.
They in my chat with the shits. Oh, they must think they can stop me. See, we got rods on the scopes. Now don't get sniped out the lobby.
Is not on me now. Tell me what do you see?
We send the vibes on the nation. LIB and our blood. We in the sky with this shit. Just think it came out the mud.
Dom DeMarco.
Yo, God first in the chat. KT2 the GOAT. Lock kick, #1 shoe plug in the city. Big Jeffrey Dub. Titans Idiot Nation.
Let me
Tighten up.
teach you how to vibe.
That's everybody on the blue. Hit that like, share, follow, tap into the daily content. Who on the green? Who on the green? Nano kicks wheel. Tap in with us. No ads. Picture in picture. Up to 50 emotes free. Do not even have to be a paid sub to the channel, just a follower. Tapped in. She, Mr. Bad Take in the building. She, you got your own sticker on kick and don't even really be using it. Tap in with us on the green. Daily content, live streams. If you're watching in the purple, nah, was good. He said go Giants. If you're watching in the purple, picture in picture. Amazon Prime, you can use the sub free once a month. If you don't use it on me, use it on another content creator on Twitch. If you're watching on the red, tap in, like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Daily podcast dropping every day over there. So if you missed the shop talk portion of the live streams, you can always go back, find the hottest part of the conversation on there, and join the Discord if you want to be part of the conversation. TJ, what's good? It said Cam in first place, but Cam is always first. You usually, like, think about it. Nano and Kicks Wheel commented before you, so you technically even still third if Cam wasn't here on the green. Like, let's not even get into to the other sites. But we live on multiple platforms every day for your viewing and listening pleasure. How we live in Biggie Smalls, relaxing in business. Nah, watching Monday Night Football. Just got to have some food with the fam. Ugly day outside, but we here rent due. When the Jets is ready to send them 4 first-round picks in Brees Hall, you know what I'm saying? What's
Let
good,
me
my
teach
dog?
you how to vibe.
Rent due gaming, funniest man on Facebook, resident Jet fan. get in line. We got first place on this number 1 pick. Appreciate y'all being here today, man. God first in the chat as always. Yo, shout out to Cam, man. Cam had a bad wreck today. Barbershop lost a job today. A lot of stuff been going on in the Discord. I'm just trying to get caught up to what y'all had going on. But Statman in the building. All right. What y'all ate, TJ? What y'all had? We had some salmon and rice. That's a staple in my household. All right, so look. Shop Talk's been on fire. YouTube content been getting better and better, more and more consistent. When we add the shorts in, it's really going to get to what we needed to get to. But today, what are we here to talk about? We're here to talk about Myles Garrett on the verge of breaking the sack record, playing against his longtime pal and buddy, Dan Moore. Dan Moore gave up the most sacks in the NFL last year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We signed him to an $82 million contract, and he has 8 sacks so far this season. He's on pace to be sack champion again. And J.C. Latham has given up 7. So, our 2 tackles have struggled this year. We still believe in y'all. Y'all can get the job done. And Cam Ward has been sacked more than any quarterback in the NFL this season. Are some of the sacks on him? Yes, but I'd like to say what really is the biggest issue with the pass protection for the Tennessee Titans is the fact that they can't run the football. 36 yards in the opening drive Sunday against the Jaguars, and then what do? They spin around and decide, you know what? Because we're behind the possession, we're not going to run the ball. Titans end up with 67 rushing yards. Over half of their rushing yards was in the first drive, and that's a recipe for disaster. 12 consecutive games without having more rushing yards than the opponent. You have to win the war up front. If you got a rookie quarterback, the recipe has always been a strong run game and a defense. And with us not being able to run the football, it means we can't control time of possession. It means Cam Ward is throwing the ball 40 plus times a game, 40 plus dropbacks with tackles that are struggling. And guard Ziedler struggling to pick up stunts. It's just a recipe for Cam Ward to be sacked more than any other quarterback. One way you can protect a young quarterback is through running the football, reducing the number of dropbacks. And when you run the football, it's natural that a stronger percentage of your dropbacks are going to come off play action that's going to hold linebackers and safeties and edge rushers because they're worried about getting gashed in the run game. And the Tennessee Titans don't put fear in anybody's hearts running the football, so people pin their ears back and go get Cam. Look at the team playing today, New England Patriots, who turned it around last season. They don't give up more than 50 yards rushing to their opposing running back, and they run the football, which means Drake May is not throwing it 50 times a game. He's throwing it 25 to 30, and it's efficient. It's 70% clip, and it's the most passing yards in the NFL because you get a lot of one-on-ones. You get to move the safeties with the run game, and the Tennessee Titans lack that. So if you want to stop Myles Garrett come Sunday, you're going to have to run the ball. You're going to have to run away from him. When you boot on his side, you're going to have to pin block and double team. If anybody remembers the infamous last time the Tennessee Titans played the Browns, our tight ends were chasing Myles Garrett pre-snap to line up to double and triple team him, which means teams get to scheme pressures on 3rd and longs because the Tennessee Titans don't run the ball well enough to be in a lot of 2nd and shorts and 3rd and shorts. So long dropbacks waiting for routes to get open means Cam Ward is going to have to get the ball out hot. It means they're going to have to run the ball effectively, and they can't have a lot of penalties that put them in 3rd and longs against Myles Garrett, or he will break the record Sunday. All right. That was the main course of action, which is going to lead into the offseason of What do the Tennessee Titans do with the offensive line to try to improve it? Do they move J.C. Latham inside the guard? Do they give J.C. Latham another run at right tackle next year? Go heavy in the draft for free agency at right guard? Does Jackson Slater get his shot? Lloyd Cushenberry has been injured more than he's been healthy at the center position. Does Corey Levin get the job? Do you groom Jackson Slater to be a center? It's not a smart financial move to get rid of Lloyd Cushenberry. Peter Skoronski needs to get extended at left guard. He's our best lineman. And Dan Moore, you're kind of locked into a contract. You don't get it out until 26 season is over. What do you do with an $82 million left tackle that could potentially lead the NFL in sacks 2 consecutive years on 2 different teams in the AFC? So those are my questions for y'all. Those are the topics of the day and the third portion of the content today. Strap with the resub for 5 months. That's love. Support stickers in the chat. Is Mike McCoy, if you heard any of the press conference, I'm gonna get to y'all questions in a second. Mike McCoy's press conference today saying that he would have went for it if it was 4th and 2, but it was 4th and 3, so he elected to kick. I think he lost a big portion of his team. I think some of the things that Jeff Simmons alluded to when he talked about the next coach of the Tennessee Titans and the culture in the locker room right now as it sits is, I think the team knows that they're tanking. I think that they know that their head coach is helping the tank. And I think he's lost the locker room because guys are still going out and playing hard, but I don't think much of the team has a lot of respect for the coaching staff and in the direction of where the Tennessee Titans is going to go for these next 5 games. And we've seen the worst of the worst is Restrepo getting a 15-yard catch, getting hurt. I think he got the best possible news that he's not seriously injured, something that he can come back from in a shorter manner of time, nothing long. We will be patient with that, but I think it's a situation where you just hope nobody gets hurt. You hope they get through this season. You got the Browns, worst possible scenario when your tackles are struggling to play Myles Garrett, and the Tennessee Titans are going to have to try to run the football. The Browns are a better running football team than the Tennessee Titans. So who knows how this game is going to end Sunday. But then you got the 49ers and the Chiefs after that, then the Saints, and you end with the Jaguars again. So, you know, Cam Ward is going to face the Browns defense, the Niners defense, the Chiefs defense, the Saints, and then end with the Jags. Like we got to get Cam Ward standing upright through the rest of this season. We cannot just continue to let him take hits. And I think that comes from Mike McCoy. Has to go in and tell Bo Hardegree, hey, listen, I know you coaching for a job. You've been given play calling duties. You and Nick Holtz are trying to put your best foot forward, but you got to commit to the run game. Even if it's not effective, you can't let Cam drop back 40 times against Myles Garrett. You can't let Cam drop back 40 times against the Niners. You can't let Cam drop back 40 times against the Chiefs. I don't think he could make it through the season if you're going to continue to let him take hits like that. All right. Now let me get into y'all questions for today, and then we'll elaborate. Who should the Titans pick with the first pick? They should pick trade. That's what they should pick. The first pick in the draft should get traded to the team that offers us the most. That sounds good, TJ. Caleb Downs is one of the safest picks in the draft, but we don't need a safety. It's not a pressing matter for the Tennessee Titans. Actually, one of the positions that the Titans actually have depth at. They said all you're going to hear from the offensive lineman is run Cam. Who is my favorite player in the draft? I have a lot of them. Should check out some of my mock drafts. Bears looking good. Broncos looking good. Ravens Joe. Yeah, Marcus Jones is a dog. He had a big time interception against us. Dre, they say I don't want to think about it. Oh, it's time to think about it. No time to duck.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
No time to duck. Is this our rock bottom? Cam Ward said it has to be. He says no, it can't get worse than this. What do you think about the report about a head coach with experience? Well, let me throw this back to you. RL, what up? This is my hot take of the day. I think they fired Brian Callahan too soon. I think they did it emotionally. Did Brian Callahan need to get fired? Probably in the offseason when they got rid of Rand. But if you're gonna put him in there with a rookie quarterback, I think they should have let Callahan coach and call plays and find a way to relieve some of the pressures from him, because relieving the play calling duties, the offense hasn't gotten better. Getting rid of Brian means you got rid of Bill too. He's our run game coordinator and offensive line coach. So when you got a quarterback that's sacked the most in the NFL, you got a quarterback that's got a running game that's 32 out of 32 NFL teams dead last in running the football. When you got an offensive line that has the most penalties in NFL, along with him being the most sacked quarterback, facing the longest distance, third and long of any quarterback, I think you have to say that skipping over the offensive coordinator Nick Holst and going to Bo Hardegree to be the play caller and getting rid of the Callahans after the Raiders game, as bad as the Titans were playing, I think it's been more of a detriment to his progression as a quarterback, because the offense hasn't got better since Brian Callahan has been gone. So I think they fired him emotionally without a plan, and they put the worst possible interim coach in, which is an interim coach that doesn't put fire under the team. I think the fire comes from Bones Fossil, the special teams coach, and from Denard Wilson's defense that's kept the Tennessee Titans in games with an offense that's so putrid. Maybe they should have let Brian Callahan coach and call plays through the bye week, because Cam Ward has progressed since the bye week has happened. He's had a chance to reflect. Cam Ward is not turning the ball over. Cam Ward is not losing fumbles every week. He's actually running the ball. He's led us in rushing 2 of the last 3 games in his home stretch. So you like his decision making. And at the end of the day, I just think that they didn't have a plan in which they wanted to do this, and it's showing. And testament to Cam Ward for not quitting and giving up and being broken and still trying to find a way to fight through and to try to get better week to week, even with the deck stacked against him. And that's why I can't listen to the Cam Ward bus talk, because it just, when people say that, I just know they don't watch the games. They don't watch the all 22s. They don't watch whiffs on run plays. They don't watch complete misses. It's a lot that's going on with the Tennessee Titans, and their next coach, regardless of it's a defensive mind, an offensive mind, they have to get somebody that's going to make the 53 in the building play with physicality, play under control, and play with passion, because that's what you want to see the Tennessee Titans. Because it's the NFL. Of course, you miss Calvin Ridley. Of course, you have a lot of injuries. Of course, you got some people that haven't stepped up and played the way you want them to play. But at the end of the day, like, it's unacceptable to go 12 consecutive weeks without having more rushing yards than your opponent. It's unacceptable to be the most penalized team in the league. It's unacceptable to have so many blown assignments. And when you watch them play so sloppily, it just does not look like an NFL football team. He said, how was his completion percentage? I think he was like 63% completions in a bad game versus the Jaguars. So it's like Cam Ward, every statistic has gotten better. His decision making has gotten better. He's not putting the ball in harm's way. When you go back to Sunday and say they got beat 25-3, they gave up 25 unanswered points after having a great drive to start the game. But you can just tell the locker room was kind of lost by not going for it on 4th and 3 and having a coach that says, if it was 4th and 2, I would have went for it. On 4th and 3, I didn't go for it. You know, fumbling on a kickoff and being down 2 possessions by the time you get the ball back. As a quarterback, want to go for it on 4th down,
Let me teach
kicking
you
the
how to
field goal,
vibe.
getting penalties and giving up a score. The team fumbling on the kickoff and you get the ball down
Let me teach you
where
how
you
to
were up
vibe.
3-0 and then you get the ball back down 15-3 and they just abandon the run and let Cam drop back and get hit the rest of the game. Tony Pollard fumbled. Tony Pollard dropped a 4th down pass that hit him in the hands. Aomana dropped a 4th down pass that hit him in the hands. You know, you have turnovers on downs 4 times where it's nothing to do with Cam Ward, which eliminates extra snaps and reps for him. And you lose Restrepo. It's just, it was a tough situation to see 1 3rd down where DK and Aomana ran into each other. Our 2 receivers ran into each other on 3rd down and Cam had to dirt it. And people were saying like, oh, Cam's not trusting his eyes and his feet. Well, if you drop back on 3rd down and your right tackle gets thrown into your lap and you throw hot and your 2 receivers run into each other, you know, what does Cam have out there he can trust outside of his 2 tight ends, which I think both had 6 catches Sunday? I mean, that's a heavy workload that you get 12 receptions from tight ends in a football game. So the Pats are hitting old school football. That's Vrabel. Vrabel's staple is they're going to play physical. They're going to run the ball. They're going to stop the run. And they're going to set up play action pass. That's Mike Vrabel. Do you think the Titans need a new offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator? I mean, they're going to clear the house anyways. I think Denard Wilson has done an outstanding job given what he's been given. I mean, they've traded away half of his defense and he's still been able to keep the Titans in football games. He still pressured the other team's quarterback as much as Cam Ward gets pressured. Offensive coordinator, I mean, you hired an offensive coach, a Hall of Fame offensive line coach and run game coordinator in the Callahans. You fired him. Nick Holtz is the OC. He got skipped over for Bo Hardegree to call plays. Mike McCoy is the head coach now, interim. He's going to get canned. Bo Hardegree is not going to be in Nashville. And unless they decide it would take away some continuity, but I don't think so. And then Nick Holtz will be gone. So, I mean,
Let me teach you how to
at the end of
vibe.
the day, like this whole coaching staff outside of Bones Fossil is probably going to get cleared. They said they should have gave Denard a chance to be the head coach. The problem is they didn't really have a great plan, a way to do this. And Denard has held the defense. They didn't want to break up the defense. Denard has held the defense. They didn't want to break up Bone Fossil because the special teams has been playing so good, right? Outside of Sunday, you muff a punt and you run into the punter 3 times. That's the baddest special team outing as I've seen from the Titans. But at the end of the day, like, they didn't have a really good plan. So your run game coordinator and your offense, the best offensive mind on the team is gone. So obviously I think they're going to clear. I think the people are going to want an offensive minded coach because they're not going to want to put a defensive minded coach with a hot OC. And within 18 months that OC is gone, getting hired away, I think they want to go with an offensive minded head coach. But if the best coach available, treated like the draft, is a defensive minded head coach, if he has a great plan of how he's going to roll out an offense, like Vrabel brought McDaniel back, McDaniel's not getting a head coaching job anywhere.
Let me
It doesn't
teach
matter
you
how
how to
good the
vibe.
offensive output of the Patriots is. Man, KT, I told y'all, people were so happy to say Jackson Dart better than Cam because he runs more, he's more athletic. But that just means he's gonna be in the blue tent. Like, you just can't keep running. You just came off a protocol, and Dayball got fired
Let me
because of
teach
the
you how to
mismanagement of
vibe.
the concussion protocol. And then, lo and behold, you know, the guy's back out here running reckless again. B Walker, what to do? Player Tom Ingram, what up? Matt Nagy. I mean, if you're the Tennessee Titans, if it's Kubiak, if it's Mentor, if it's Nagy, if it's Mike McCarthy, if it's John Gruden, if it's Brian Flores, if it's Robert Saleh, it doesn't matter who the names is. Bring them all in, interview them all, let them lay out their plan of what they want to do with the team, and go close the door for 24 hours and come out and make a decision. Cool, Mr. Bipolar in the building. Why didn't Nick leave with Brian? I mean, just because your homeboy quit their job or get fired, you got bills to pay and a family to take care of. I mean, if Nick Holst has got a contract that would allow him to continue to make money and take care of his family,
let me teach you how to
vibe. Nick Holst allegiance is to his wife and his kids. It's not to Brian Callahan.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
Corey D. Chronic, Howard Nelson, Rontez, what up? Appreciate everybody that's tapped in on all 4 social media platforms. If you do miss these shop talks, if you come in later, you miss some, always tap in to the YouTube. You can get caught up or tap into the Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Kick, wherever you want to consume the live stream and live content or offline content. Close the door and have them fight for it. Nah, because I mean, it's going to be other coaching jobs available. So that doesn't make sense. You just want the right fit for the Tennessee Titans. You don't care what anything else does, because some of the good coaches are going to interview in Tennessee. They're going to interview in New York. They're going to interview and some of the other coaching jobs that come available. You know, some of them are going to get options. You know, somebody in Florida. You know, it's some colleges that may come calling that may have been interviewing some of these coaches. So, you know, you just want to interview and see who's the best fit for the Tennessee Titans. But I'm almost certain it don't matter who they pick, it's going to be better than what we got now. But you do want the right fit. I think if it's Robert Saleh, I think the Jags games might see head coaches fight. I mean, I don't care about any of that. Like that's like media stuff, storylines that nobody cares about. I don't care about the Jaguars. Like the road for the Tennessee Titans to be a good team again and contend in the AFC has nothing to do with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like all respect due to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but whether the Tennessee Titans are a contending franchise has nothing to do with the beef between Robert Saleh and Liam Cohen. Like absolutely nobody cares about Robert Saleh and Liam Cohen having a dust up. I could care less about that. I just want to know, are we putting the best person that could come in and get the best out of the 53 guys that signed to the contract in the practice squad? Miserable for you, brother. I can't believe my eyeballs watched yesterday. KD, 4 interceptions from Max Brosmer and Jay Jettis, 2 catches for 4 yards. Vikings in trouble. See, some teams that are in worse situations than us. They made to put in the game. It's about to be a crime scene. Yeah, didn't Abdul Carter get suspended or have something go on with him? Didn't he have something happen to him? Said about fell out the chair when a reporter asked JC, do the Titans players care about wins anymore? Oh, that's Paul Kaharski asked, I think that was PK asked Peter Skoronsky, does the Titans players give it anymore? And they said, of course we do, but you know, people take issue to all the laughing and joking that goes in the locker room when they're doing press conferences, which is weird. Like a team that has 1 win, 11 losses is like in the locker room laughing and joking after the games. They removed the ping pong tables and things like that. So it's like kind of crazy to see, to see those type of things happen. It was just the first 5 snaps he was watching during the meeting. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, he's generational, right? The Tennessee Titans shouldn't have picked Cam Ward. They should have picked Abdul Carter. Said they broke the pool table. Gotta hope JJ get better. I mean, y'all in real trouble. I don't think JJ can get better. I don't think it's in his I think he is what he is. I've been saying that since the beginning with him. He said we were taking notes on the naysayers. Yeah, Dre Day. Only know that because his headphones disconnected. What do y'all want to do with the Vikings? Because y'all had Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, and JJ McCarthy, and I told y'all that they should keep one of those QBs, and they didn't, and they got Carson Wentz, and he got hurt, and now they down to Max Brosmer and a frustrated Jay Jettis that may ask for a way out. You know, what if Jay Jettis say, man, I want out, bro. You let me up out of here. What if Jay Jettis say he want out? How bad was the game yesterday? I've been busy with Posse. Went home today. Hey man, I'm happy that he's feeling better and getting up out of there. Yesterday, Titans had a good first drive and then committed a bunch of penalties and gave up a touchdown, and then muffed the kick and gave up a touchdown. Kair Elam was not ready, I don't think. So they just had 2 cornerbacks active. They had Marcus Harris on the outside, and they had Baker Jr. on the outside, and they put Kevin Winston Jr. and Xavier Woods and let them rotate the nickel slot, and it just didn't work out. It was bad. There's a lot of busted coverages. Guys running free in the secondary. So you get a penalty on the point after attempt, and they go for 2 and get it, and it's 15-3 by the time Cam Ward gets the ball back. And then the Titans just went 3 and out. They gave up on the run. Josh Hines Allen, whether he lined up on Dan Moore, whether he lined up on J.C. Latham, he just had his way Sunday and pretty much did whatever he wanted to do. He lived in the backfield and game wreck. Tony Pollard fumbled 1. Tony Pollard dropped a 4th down catch wide open. Omana dropped a wide open slant on 4th down, and DK fumbled a punt. So I mean, there's 4 changes of possessions where you leave points on the board. So
Let me teach you how to
give up
vibe.
25 unanswered points at home to the Jaguars and get beat 25-3 and get absolutely smoked. 15 penalties, and the worst penalty of all is 15-3. Titans get a sack and get a pressure on Trevor Lawrence on a Hail Mary before half because the wind was blowing. They didn't want Little to kick from 60 plus against the wind. So they went for a Hail Mary and they pressured Trevor Lawrence and he threw the ball away. And Arden Key continued running after getting pressure on Trevor Lawrence and wound up, getting into an altercation on the sideline and getting flagged. With no time on the clock at halftime, they cleared the benches back out and tacked on a 15-yard penalty and allowed the Jaguars to kick a 40-yard kick after the half was over to go down 18-3 at half. So when you have things like that, you just don't win football games. That's what happened yesterday, Zay. Mac Jones will be a Viking next year. We tried to keep both offer Darnold 1-year deal. I mean, why would y'all offer him a 1-year deal? Why wouldn't you do a 3-year deal like the Seahawks did and just front load the money? I mean, the Falcons did it with Kirk Cousins. They gave him a 4-year deal and front loaded the money to where when you trade him after year 1, then you get your value back. That didn't make sense. What's good, Andrew? Daniel Jones led to a good opportunity in Indy because the Colts was Daniel done with Richardson already. Yep. But see, the Colts did and the Seahawks did what the Jets and the Raiders didn't do. When you get the bridge like Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold or Geno Smith, whoever it is, you draft a quarterback. The Seahawks drafted Jalen Milroe. The Steelers got Will Howard. You know, it's like draft a quarterback when you do it. The Falcons did it with Penix. Like you have to draft the Colts got Riley Leonard when they got Daniel Jones. Like you have to draft a guy with your bridge. You know, the 49ers got Curtis Rourke last year and brought in Mac Jones. So he's like, and you got Brock Purdy. So just give yourself as many options as possible. It only makes sense. It only makes sense. We not in a position to get JJ right now. Who not in a position to get JJ? After the first drive, it was horrible sitting there. Jack Frost was swirling around in that stadium. I know it was. Like, Nashville can get colder than people think. For people in the South that we don't enjoy cold weather, like, Nashville can't get cold. Nashville is like, remind me of back home. Birmingham is kind of warm. Nashville is nice. How about them Cowboys? Nobody care about the Cowboys. Cowboys a day late and $1 short. We can have Chip Kelly. He's already gone. Like you can't offer us something that y'all already got rid of. Nobody wants Chip Kelly. At least y'all in a better situation than the Giants. The Giants is not in a bad situation though. The Titans actually are in an advantageous situation because they're gonna have the most cap space of any team. They're gonna get to pick their coach with Mike Bergonzi, who had a really good draft. Titans are gonna have like 10 to 12 draft picks with probably 5 or 6 of them coming in the top 100. So like they got a chance to reset the team and reset the table really quick. And they got a new stadium coming. So Titans got a lot that they can work with. They just gotta, it starts with hiring the right coach, because I feel like they should have let Callahan call plays and coach longer, at least into the bye, because I think Mike McCoy has already lost the team and now the Titans are in a weird situation. Titans are in a weird situation right now. They're in no man's land trying to get through these last 5 games before it's all said and done. Upgraded O-line and defense with the money. Shit just didn't work out. But I think depending on JJ McCarthy, getting him was just he has been the mistake. He has been the mistake, because I ain't gonna lie, Kevin O'Connell to me is one of the better coaches in the NFL. If like it don't matter who he touch, he's like Kyle Shanahan. Like if Trey Lance didn't work with Shanahan, he's just damaged goods, right? You know, it's like if Kevin O'Connell can't do nothing with JJ McCarthy and Max Brosmer, that just mean they're wasted. That's my own personal opinion. You know, like some people may say I'm wrong, you know, but I just don't. I think if Kevin O'Connell can't get the best out of you as a QB, then I just think you're washed. Could be wrong, but I think you're washed. Personally. Who the Titans hiring for head coach? Whoever comes in and lays out the best plan. I don't think you should say we're not going to do an offensive coach again. I don't think you should say the person's got to be this, got to be that. I think you let all the coaches that you like come in. I think you interview them. I think you spend time with them, and I think you allow them to roll out their plan for what they want to do with the Tennessee Titans. And when that's all said and done, then I feel like then you make a decision. I think, you know, they had McDonald of the Seahawks. He was on the list of guys they wanted to interview last year, and they brought Brian Callahan in and just settled. I think in that situation, the Tennessee Titans are jumped the gun. I think they should have waited. I think if the Tennessee Titans would have waited, I think they may have came to a better decision. I think they would have got a better decision. Personally, that's what I think. I think they just jumped the gun. They fell in love with the first car they seen, and then they seen another car on the lot and was like, we should have waited. I think he lost the team when they pull up to everything out of the locker room. Yeah. But the fact that, like, when you're an interim coach, every Sunday, if you listen to the telecast, they're like 4th and 1, 4th and inches, 4th and 1, 4th and inches, and he's punting, kicking field goals, punting. And every announcer says, why, if you're 1 and 8, won't you go for it? Why, if you're 1 and 9, won't you go for it? Why, if you're 1 and 10, won't you go for it? And this Sunday was, why, if you're 1 and 11, why don't you go for it? And then it's like Cam Ward goes into the press conference and says, what do we have to lose to not go for it and put some faith in your team? You seen Mike Elko punted the ball against Texas on 4th and 1 with one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And what does Bama do in the Iron Bowl with the season on the line? They don't send the kicker out. You go out there and tell Ty Simpson, get it done. And he throws a hot beam. You know, Marcus Mariota scores last night. They go for 2. He don't get it, but your team respects the coach that says, even if we lose, we're going to lose with our guys trying to make a play, not just trying to fall into a dub. And I think the players know it, and I think they know he's in on the tank job. I think that's why they lost. He's lost the team, because usually an interim coach comes in and brings some fire, you know, but he has no fire. I agree, bro. I'm a Michigan fan. Didn't love the pick, but I truly believe we're taking Penix that the Falcons didn't. Man. The thing about McCarthy is he came in and he got hurt, and then they waited, and him getting hurt kind of forced their hand a little bit to where they never got to evaluate enough of him to know what he is. And he could turn it around, but I think he's kind of in that Tua vault where, like, a guy's been injured that many times, kind of how you might feel about Michael Penix. Guys been injured so many times early in their career, where this dude's 22, 23 and has missed like several seasons and really been beat up. You know, like these guys, some of these guys have the body of a 30-year-old quarterback. I mean, Jackson Dart is going to be like that if he keeps continuing to try to scramble. He said, smash those reactions, another loss for y'all. And you better put the phone call in and tell Jackson Dart to stop running around. Dude going to get himself killed running so much. He runs reckless too. Two-time, what's good? Yo, y'all keep the questions coming though. Y'all got any more questions for me? This is what I'm here for. I love the questions in the chat. 100% him getting hurt early for sure didn't allow us to truly evaluate him. Same thing this year. He got hurt 2 games in. It's like you don't know if he's like he's for all intensive purposes like still a rookie, but you have the highest paid receiver in the NFL, and you know, arguably the best receiver in the NFL, sitting there with 2 catches for 4 yards, and you just can't afford to have that. You just can't. You can't afford to have that. And that's why, you know, I'm critical of Cam Ward, but you know, when I hear the bus talk, and I hear it on the radio, I hear it on my comments, and it's just like, bro, like Max Brosner, how he played yesterday is bust work. Like, if Cam Ward is doing that, then I got real issues. But he's been getting better. And I think with a decent coach, he could have a flip like Caleb Williams and Drake May is having now. Because there's a lot of Titan personalities that think that like Cam's ceiling is not high, but his mentality and the way he plays the game, like Cam is with the right coach in the right situation, is a quarterback that could come in, beam for 250, 300 yards every Sunday easily. He said, I won't even be mad if Jay Jettis requests a trade. You think it's going to be like a Sauce Gardner situation? Like, the thing that frustrates me about the Titans' upper management and coaching staff is like, clearly you just have to be able to control the line of scrimmage, like running the football and allowing a young quarterback to throw the ball 20 to 30 times a game max. You can't have this guy dropping back 40, 50 times a game. Like, he's going to die. Because people talk about like Cam's completion
Let me
percentage.
teach you how to
It's
vibe.
increased. It's up to like, mid 60s. But how many passes a week does he just have to dirt because guys are running the wrong routes, or, guys are completely missing blocks, screen passes where guys are not executing the screens properly. Like, I'd say Cam probably dirts 4 or 5 balls a Sunday just off bad execution. Kenny O, what up? But Myles Garrett is going to have a field day. I mean, Tennessee Titans have not had a good experience with Myles Garrett, going back to Andre Dillard, left tackle that we paid good money to, that asked Myles Garrett for tips after the game on how to get better. The Dennis Dailies, the now Dan Moore, who Myles Garrett has owned him anytime he's played against him. So I'm not looking optimistic for Dan Moore versus Myles Garrett with him eyeing the NFL sack record. Guy's got 19 sacks right now, so it's which is going to dictate the way the offense plays. I think you got to leave a tight end on this side, and I think you got to double team. You got to double team him and run at him a little bit too. Like, I hate when people just do the unblocked thing and just let him float free, like, or one-on-one block. He's gonna wreck all the games to his side. You got to double team him. He's gonna beat some double teams, but you got to make some other guys step up and make plays. You can't just let a guy like Myles Garrett have one-on-one 3rd and long 10 times in a game. If that happens, Cam Ward's probably going to get hit 8 extra times and probably get sacked 2 or 3 times easily just from that. Yeah, Dre, I mean, I'm worried because this is the first time I've heard like the team kind of giving up on the coaching staff, and that makes me worry for a young quarterback who is kind of fearless a little bit. That I hope he doesn't put himself in harm's way down the stretch of this season, because we can't afford to lose Cam Ward at the end of the season the way we lost Restrepo that's not what we want. That's not what we want. With all the upcoming moves next year, if it don't work, do Cam move on before he's let go? Nah, I mean, I honestly feel like Bergonzi is gonna, like, you have to ride Cam Ward's first 3 years out, because he had a crystal ball in the coaching staff at Miami. He had a different coaching staff at Washington. He had a different coaching staff at Incarnate Word. So it's like every year since high school, this is a quarterback who's changed staffs And he went from Miami to Brian Callahan, Bill Callahan, to Bo Hardegree, Mike McCoy, Nick Holtz. And then he's going to get another play caller, head coach, and offensive coordinator, all within like a 1 year period. You're going to go from what Miami had to Titans, to the second part of Titans, to the third part of Titans. So you have like four different approaches to playing the quarterback position given to him in 1 year, which is a lot. But I think he's the type of person that's the first person in the facility, the last person to leave, the one that puts in the most reps. So that's what I like about Cam. The fact that he's a hard worker. So he's not the guy that you got to put a clause in his contract that he can't play Madden or Call of Duty during the season. Like, he's not that guy. Sorry, Kyler. You know, he's the guy that you have to tell,
Let me
hey
teach
man,
you how to
you've
vibe.
been going too hard. You need to slow down. Like, that's Cam Ward. So I feel good about where Cam Ward is at. Drill, Amy don't keep anybody for long. You know, she knew how she do. But I think people overplay Amy. Amy has made mistakes, but I think people overplay Amy. See, to move on from, like, Mike Vrabel wanted Tannehill still, right? There was always the question of should they have kept Marcus Mariota or went to Tannehill. Vrabel wanted the Tannehill situation. Okay, and then John Robinson was the one that wanted to bring in Malik Willis. John Robinson, that got him gone, the Malik Willis, Traylon Burks deal. So Vrabel's pushing back to go back to Tannehill, and then Rand wants to get Will Levis, and Vrabel's still pushing for Tannehill. And then when Tannehill goes in and Vrabel goes, and you get Will Levis in, then, you know, the ownership gets excited about what Will Levis could become. But then you take a coach like Mike Vrabel away from him and Derrick Henry away from him, a veteran team with a run game you can count on, and a coach that's not going to allow him to get ahead of himself. Then you take away Mike Vrabel and you put Brian Callahan, and then Brian Callahan put the cart before the horse, so to speak. And then it regressed Will Levis, because Will Levis year 2 is Brian Callahan's scheme with no Derrick Henry. So, you know, it's a lot of that. Ain't Amy. That's egos from GMs and coaches, to be honest. See, I don't want to. Drill, what's good? Man, I think my let me check something real quick. But head coach, you just got to interview everybody and see who has the best plan. I don't want to just have somebody stuck in my head and then a better option is there and I'm fighting the better option. Like, let the coach say, let all these coaches come in and tell you what they would do. Who would be their OC? Who would be their DC? Who they would keep from the staff? Who they evaluate in the roster and the staff? Who they like, the direction they like to go in. You know, like, I think the mentality that Cam Ward has is the reason why they drafted him is more of his mentality. He's the type of person that can see through a rebuild and still get better. A lot of people just would mentally have broken. And this week was the first time you seen some chinks in his armor, but it was more of the frustration of, like, this coaching staff has failed us. You know, they haven't put good game plans together. And when you have people in the media saying, well, Cam Ward doesn't look sure of himself this week like he did the last several weeks. Well, it's third down and your receivers run into each other. Like, what do you know, it's third down and your tackles getting completely whiffed on blocks. Guys are blowing assignments. You're getting penalty after penalty after penalty after penalty. And, you know, like I said, Cam Ward had a good drive and was up 3-0. And he wanted to go for it on fourth down. And then, by the time you get the ball back, you down 15-3, and the coaching staff is in full on blowout mode instead of sticking to the script of running the football, resetting, going down, trying to put points on the board to make it a one possession game. Man, Driller, I'm in here answering questions from the
Let me
chat about
teach
the
you how to
Tennessee Titans
vibe.
offensive line trying to block Myles Garrett and watching the Giants and the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football. How you feeling, bro? Adam L, what up? Yeah, culture from top to bottom, but like whoever you get, y'all also have to keep in mind has to match with Bergonzi too. So you got a new GM that's got good experience and has been the most transparent person we've seen come through in a long time. That not no disrespect to Rand, but it's like when you look at Bergonzi, like is very transparent about who is gonna do what. In his first draft he has really hit. So now the jury's still out on what he gonna do free agency wise, because he did bring in Dan Moore, and we don't know if that was the Callahan's call, if that was just all him, whatever the situation could potentially be. But I personally hope, and that's gonna be the next conversation we're gonna talk about, man, y'all. What do the Titans do with the offensive line, knowing that Dan Moore and Lloyd Cushenberry are pieces that you can't really financially, like it's financially irresponsible to move Dan Moore or Lloyd Cushenberry right now. And you've already took JC in college from right tackle to left tackle as a rookie, back to right tackle as a second year player. And it's a lot of people that thinks that JC should move into right guard next season, which would be his third position in 3 years for the Tennessee Titans. But he's a top 10 pick. And Zietler's gone. So like, do you move him inside next year and try to address offensive tackle in the draft, or do you give him and Dan Moore another spin next year and free agency or draft go in at offensive guard? Which is a really good question, because you gotta think, you really want to get a tackle before you need it. You don't want to get a tackle when you need him, because you probably won't be able to. Like there are no teams letting really good left tackles and right tackles go in free agency. They're paying them. And in the draft, they're a hot commodity that you want to get a first or second round tackle, every few years to have the guy that you need to have. I have no clue, KT. So that's my question to y'all. Like, I know what I've weighed a lot of different options about what you could do at that tackle position. Not an easy thing. Because in my mind, I feel like unless you play Crenshaw Dixon or a guy you draft, you can't just afford to have like $26 million on the bench in Dan Moore, and you can't afford to have a first round pick in JC Latham just sitting on the bench. You got to find a way to make these guys be effective until you can get out of financial irresponsibility. I think y'all should go guard and let JC play his best position. Definitely if he was a tackle in college. I don't know, like they moved Skoronski from left tackle to left guard, and he's the best lineman on our team. He's like an all-pro talented interior lineman. Skoronski is. So you gotta think, like, are they gonna groom Jackson Slater at center or guard? Or if they trade back and you got a Caden Proctor around, or you got the offensive guard from Penn State that's around top of the second round. Like, do you take a shot at one of those guys and just try to bolster and throw like top 100 linemen into the rotation until you can cycle out of into a better situation? JC was drafted as a right tackle that they was going to play at left tackle. They wanted Joe Alt, but Joe Alt came off to the Chargers one pick before JC. JC actually wasn't bad at left tackle his rookie year, but he was a little bit overweight and he got tired in the second half of the season down the stretch, and they moved him to right tackle and brought in Dan Moore at left tackle. They spent $80 million on him. So they thought that they could bolster the line by doing that and bringing Zietler in, but Zietler hasn't played good. Dan Moore hasn't played good, and JC has struggled at right tackle because he lost weight and got in better shape, and he got injured the first game, had a hip injury versus the Broncos and missed a whole month. So by the time he came back, his first game back, he's blocking Max Crosby, and his body just hasn't looked comfortable. He hasn't looked confident. He hasn't been able to anchor well. Like, he's getting bull rushed a lot, and he's one of those mean streak type of linemen. And when you have one of those guys that's unsure of themselves, you can see him completely miss on run blocks. Like, I mean, guys walk right past him because when he tries to kick back and step, he gets beat inside a lot. So it's like, and then when he don't get beat inside, when people Euro step and just bull rush him, he hasn't anchored well. You know, he got thrown into Cam Ward one time yesterday by Hines Allen. And I mean, when I say thrown into him, I mean literally like Kamehameha thrown into him. Ravens definitely going to go O-line. I got Lamar out of there this year, so I think OC needs to. Old school and predictable for Lele. Shouldn't be an NFL field because he's soft. Y'all center is one that may be on the market, but it's not financially responsible for us to go after him. You know, Tennessee Titans got like, I think right guard should be an easy position for them to fill. I think this year they should go edge first and then go receiver or offensive guard. You know, I think that's the way they should attack it. O-line has been. They got the is top 3 or 4. Wow. Titans in trouble though. I honestly don't know. I've tried myself to kind of like pinpoint of what they would do with the offensive line, but a big part of me says maybe the talent ain't that bad. Maybe it's the coaching, because you know, bringing a new coach with a new philosophy like Vrabel, like, yeah, they got a left tackle in the draft this year, they first pick, but he's not playing tonight and they're still cooking. And the Giants have one of the best defensive fronts in football. So I think it's more mentality of the coach is saying of the scheme of we're going to run, we're going to be physical up front, and I'm going to demand more accountability out of these. They're gonna demand more responsibility out of these first round draft picks and high free agent value players. Yeah, we definitely trade out of one, but like they're gonna have the most cap space too. I don't think high end position players like receivers like George Pickens or the Ayuks or Tariq Woollens, I don't think those guys for any amount of money come to Nashville. I think you could sign a lineman, but then people are not letting good linemen leave. They're finding ways to pay good linemen. So if you're the Titans, maybe a Breece Hall you try to get in free agency. You might can get some secondary type of cornerbacks in free agency. You know, Josh Williams, you already got Kerry Lam. I want to see how he looks these last 5 games when he finally gets to play, because he wasn't ready to play Sunday, coming in halfway through the week. So he should be an outside corner come this Sunday playing the Browns. But I like to see like the direction that they go in, because the one place that they could spend some of the money that, you know, is something that I don't know if they want to try to do again. You went veteran with Kevin Zeitler and Dan Moore, and it didn't work. So the question is it the talent or is it the coaching? Nah, money don't talk when you're the worst team in football 2 years in a row. George Pickens ain't leaving a veteran QB and coaching staff that can get him the ball for one that right now we don't even know who the coach is going to be or the scheme. I mean, Woolen, you know, if the Titans offer Woolen $15 million a year and the Eagles offer him 12, he's going to Philadelphia. Like that's the position that the Titans are in, a bad team tax, that we're only getting big names if they injured or fighting a drive-by shooting case. Defense is solid, but we need help at edge, which I think they're going to address in the draft, and cornerback, which I think they're going to address in free agency. It's just that they missed the last rotation of trying to fix the cornerbacks through free agency, because you spent $100 million on Snead and Chidobe Awuzie. Awuzie is starting for the Ravens right now. He's starting for y'all, and we cut him, and we've already paid him. And then you look and see L'Jarius Sneed injured most of the time he's been here, and he's now indicted fighting alleged drive-by shooting that he was involved in. And then you think about, we paid Traylon Burks $14 million, and you watch him catch a one-handed Odell Beckham catch last night. It's too many of that. Too many guys we paid and cut that didn't work out, that go other places and play. You see what I'm saying? Like, if the Titans was able to draft more edge help, trade back and take the best edge on the board, and then, you know, go receiver, offensive line, you know, like in cornerback in the draft. Like, because let's say Kerry Lam works out and you bring Darrell Baker Jr. back next year, and Michael Robinson's on special teams at corner, and he's getting another year under his belt. Marcus Harris is your nickel. And let's say Josh Williams, or, you know, Josh Williams or somebody like that, you bring in as the second corner, and in the second round you trade back and draft your number one corner. You take AJ Harris or Leverett out of Georgia, or somebody, Will Lee out of Texas A&M. Like, you go draft a stud at corner, and you rotate some veteran guys with him, with some of the guys, with the best of what we have now. Like, you can solidify your team. It's just that when you spend $110 million on 2 corners, you don't expect those to be places that you have to blow top 100 draft picks on trying to shore up holes. They've just done that too many times in the past. Like, Zeitler's $10 million a year, Dan Moore is $20 million a year, and now you're trying to figure out who's going to be the left tackle and left and right guard. You wasn't expecting to have to do that, because you drafted Jackson Slater to be able to sit behind Zeitler and come in the right guard after the fact. You know, you got Corey Levin that could play guard center, who played center Sunday for the Titans. But it's like, then you got Crenshaw Dixon. You want to have him and Oludo and John Ojukwu and groom them. But it's like, the guys don't even last long enough for us to groom their replacements. I think that's been the part. You said Cheeto been our best pick. Think about it. Cheeto, we paid, we ate cap space like $7 million for him to go play for y'all for free. Imagine if the Titans had Cheeto still with Baker Jr., Harris, Elam, Michael Robinson. That sounds a lot better, even if L'Jarius Sneed ain't there. You got less to worry about. And he still would have had another year on his contract. He'd been coming into his last year, but you traded Jarvis, you traded Roger. So it's like, Titans is in places where they felt like they had depth, now are thin it. No, that's just physical. YUG. I want to resign for a good price. Had him in slot instead of Marlon Humphrey. With wide receiver from South Carolina draft going in on the mocks. You talking about Nick Harbor? You see what I'm saying? Like, they cut Cheeto because they felt like Jarvis was going to play outside opposite of Snead, and he was going to have Roger McCurry and Marcus Harris in the slot. Like with Darrell Baker Jr. and Amar Davis, like they had a better. Well, Amar Davis wasn't there yet, but you know that kind of was they setup. And then Snead gets injured and goes and gets indicted. You trade Jarvis, you trade Roger, you move Marcus to the nickel slot, and now you got Baker Jr. and Amar Davis on the outside. Amar Davis goes down. You get Elam. Elam should play this week, and then you got Baker Jr., who started off on special teams and practice squad, is your number one corner. Like, that's the problems with the Titans, where you spent $110 million. You're not supposed to be thin at corner. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you just scrambling, and they're not in a position to trade to get anybody because, you know, it's a one-win football team. You're not trying to win games, but you definitely don't want to come into the draft and say, man, we got 12 draft picks and 5 or 6 of them are top 100, but we're going to have to burn all our draft picks in position of need instead of best player available, when it should be every draft best player available, and then we'll figure it out from there. And that's what the problem with the Titans. So it's like, when you see that and people talk about, well, y'all need to just fix y'all line, like, it's not that easy, because you didn't spend $80 million on a tackle and $10 million on a right guard to be thinking about burning top 100 picks on left tackle and right guard this season. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they never can get caught up, when in reality they should have left JC Latham at left tackle and put Olujudo at right tackle, and then they should have drafted another tackle, or just continue to groom Crenshaw Dixon. Save the $80 million you spent on Dan Moore. Then your only veteran you would have been looking to replace down the line would have been Lloyd Cushenberry, which you got Corey Levin and Jackson Slater, guys that can replace him. So you want to have young, fresh talent or guys that's gonna be there for 8 years. We good, Joe. But that's the problem when your roster get down so bad and you got so many different GMs and coaches trying to put their spin on it. You get stuck with that, because even that we got Cam Ward, Will Levis is almost like through his rehab to the point that he gonna start throwing soon. So like soon as off season hit, you're gonna start seeing Will Levis throw the football. With all these teams that's in a bad need of QB that can't trade up to get the top pick to get a Mendoza or a Ty Simpson, or if Dante Moore don't come out, you don't get one of those top QBs. You gotta start thinking about, like the Cowboys did, trading, getting Joe Milton. You know what I'm saying? So like a team could be willing to give up a 4th or 5th round pick for Will Levis next year, which resources would be like, if the Vikings wouldn't got Will Levis, he'd be better than everything they got there now. You know, can Kevin O'Connell fix him? It's a cheaper spot when you've already burnt the first on JJ McCarthy. So like Titans are gonna get the Draymond Jones pick, they're gonna get the Roger McCurry pick, they're gonna get the Jarvis Brownlee pick, they're gonna get the Will Levis pick. Like the Titans are gonna have the first pick and trade back. They're probably gonna have 5 or 6 picks in the top 100, and then from rounds, when day 3 hits, from rounds 4 through 6, they're probably gonna have another 5 picks. So it's like the Titans can and they're gonna have picks in next year's upcoming draft as well. So Titans gonna be able to really load up on draft picks, and they're gonna have so much money in free agency that they don't need to go after the superstar player. Like that's why I say George Pickens is somebody that's not realistic. Realistic is maybe Odafe Oweh, maybe Jalen Phillips, maybe if you're lucky Tariq Woolen, but if not, like a Josh Williams, or you know, you get some of these type of guys in that could help fill gaps. You know, a home run for them would be Breece Hall, and then draft a running back in the late rounds. Then Tony Pollard gets gone, and then Tajay's on his last year next year, and you got Khalil Mullins, Breece Hall, and a guy you draft. Like you got a different dynamic at running. Like that's how they have to spend their money in places like that. So like, let's say you did get let's say like maybe not Kayvon Thibodeau, but maybe Jalen Phillips or Adafio Away, and then Femi comes back next year. So you got Away, Femi, T Sweat, and Big Jeff, and you go into the draft. If some of these things have been relieved, when you trade back, you can take best player available. You might can go wide receiver, offensive lineman in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might can go edge in the second and try to get a TJ Parker or Zion Young or somebody like that later in the draft. Like, and just have more of a solid team than just like thinking that one superstar in free agency or one superstar in the draft is going to change your team, and that's not realistic. I can see Breece Hall would be. Like a Breece Hall would be a solid running back to add in free agency to what the Titans got. Because you got so much money that you'll be able to fill these holes and gaps without overspending. And then you go into the draft and just pick a bunch of solid, like this year's draft, Cam Ward is the superstar, but Femi Oladejo is a big athletic guy that sets the tone on edge in the second round. Kevin Winston Jr. is going to be a really good free safety, even though he had a couple of lapses playing out of position Sunday. Gunnar Helm, Chimere Dike, A.O. Monter is like the new NWI. I think you can't put too much stock in thinking that he's going to be the star receiver, but he's a solid receiver that goes into a course. So if you say Restrepo, A.O. Monter is your 4 and 5 wide receiver and Tim Dike is your slot, and you go into the draft and get two more guys, I think like slowly through the draft, then when 27 hit, you like, yo, can we get Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman, or Ryan Williams? Like, I think you got to look at it like that. Because like the Jags got rid of Christian Kirk, got rid of Calvin Ridley, got rid of Evan Ingram. Then you got Brenton Strange, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, Washington. Like now they building their team. They let some of them other guys go. Tim Patrick, they brought in a veteran like that. Like I think they did it unconventionally, but now you got ETN and Basil Tootin. Like I think you got to build your offense like that, where people can't see it, but you're putting young talent around Cam Ward to grow with him. Not just one guy you throw 20 million in and think he's going to fix the offense. Devin Akane, yeah. I mean, like, when you look at tonight, the Patriots, like, yes, they got Diggs, but they brought Mac Hollins in, Keyshawn Boutte is a draft pick, Pop Douglas, Kyle Williams that they got out of I think he came from Washington State. Like, it's like you draft and you build and grow people. It ain't just one guy you brought in and he fixed the room. Texans with Tank Dell and Nico Collins and Higgins and Noel. Like you gotta build with young guys that can grow with your QB. Panthers, I'm really excited about the Panthers receiving core. Jalen Coker from Holy Cross with T-Mac and Xavier Legette and Horn, and Jatavian Sanders, tight end from Texas, like Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard, like all his offensive weapons are young. I just think that's the direction you go when you're building when you building a team. But Breece Hall would be a great fit, a guy that can catch out the backfield and shifty in the run game. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, when people be talking about receivers and Concepcion and all this, people like, I'm cool with them, but bro, I want Cam Ward to get some people with a catch radius that can go up and dunk. Like, the Tennessee Titans don't have any receivers right now that can dunk. Like, AO can dunk. He's a physical 6'2" guy. But I need that Chris Brazil out of Tennessee. I need that You know, I need that guy that's gonna go up on the outside and go get it. It's tough to see Traylon Burks be that guy for the Commanders and not the Titans. You know, he tied his Tennessee Titan passing, receiving touchdown total in one with the Commanders already. I mean, all the time he spent in Nashville, he's already tied that with one catch. He said, but Dre, we passed complimenting Spears. I love Tajay. I think Tajay makes something out of nothing, but this is why I say, like, next year is Tajay last year, and he's one of Rand's guys, right? As much as we love Tajay, you bring in Breece Hall and put Khalil Mullins with him, and you draft a guy like Henry out of UTSA, or Nick Singleton out of Penn State, or Raleek Brown out of Arizona State. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, you know, you gotta look at what the Chargers did. Najee Harris, Amarion Hampton, Kamani Vidal, and Patterson. They brought 4 different running backs into the Chargers. You know, the Browns, you know, they got Quinshawn Judkins and Dylan Sampson. You know, bro, forget it. Give me 2 young backs. You know, like sometimes teams, you know, sometimes teams mix it up. All right, come on, Pop Douglas. Cause, you know, I hate to say it, but I mean, this game about to be at halftime, and I'll bring y'all up. Drop them crystal balls in the chat. I will show y'all what I would like to do with the team in free agency, and then I'll show you what I'd like to do in the draft. All right, second half, I just need Travion Henderson to go crazy, running and catching. Why is Tyrone Tracy haven't done nothing for the Giants? Oh yeah, Jeff, I did see that. That was wild, bro. Young Way Cool. Hey, does anybody know how to get that how to get those 92 B&Ds from, I want the 92 B&D from to get Albert Hainsworth. It said Cowboys or Lions. Man, it's wild, bro, man. Can we have a night where we ain't talking about the Cowboys? Nobody want to talk about the Cowboys. Man, Patriots putting belt on them boys. Wow. This is Comedy 2 Times' favorite part of the stream. I know y'all wanted to see what I would do with the Tennessee Titans free agency. All right, here we go. All right, look. We're gonna set this team up to how it's gonna look in the off season. All right, so I mean, y'all wanted to see what I thought they should do. We got to put everybody back where they supposed to go. Bro, right here with my computer, like these windows just be doing dumb stuff. Oh, no. You good. You ain't got to apologize, man. Y'all already know. I'll be telling y'all. Don't be apologizing in my stream. All right, so look, this how the team look right now, right? This how the team look right now. June 1st, they cutting red. That's say 16. Van Jefferson is on a 1-year deal. Will Levis will get traded. Tony Pollard, $2 million to move on from Tony Pollard, and then you'll have Tajay and Khalil, right? All right, so to be realistic, Tajay is on his last year. Tajay is on his last year. Khalil Mullins is a rookie. He haven't shown nothing yet. If I'm the Titans, I don't think that AO is really the 2. I think he's the new NWI. He's the 4th. He said, I can talk about the Titans, but you don't want to know what I got to say. Why do I not want to know what you got to say? Speak your mind. It won't matter. All right, Zietler is gone. Corey Levin and Oli Udoh, these are 1-year deals. Chig Okonkwo, I think that they should bring him back, but you know that there's no guarantee that they'll bring back Chig. And if they do, DMR is the second tight. So this how the Tennessee Titans offense will look coming into the draft and free agency. And this is what I think they should do. This is what I think they should do. I think if you're going to target somebody and spend some money in free agency, I don't think you can get Jeremiah Love in the draft. You can't bank on that. I'd say if you in Breece Hall, if your running back room look like this and you drafted a late round running back, kind of like how the Bears got Kyle Monangai, it's some guys in my draft, on my draft boards I like in the late rounds. That would be this would help Cam Ward out, I think. I think what you need to do, a lot of people want to move JC here and go after right tackle. But what I think they should do is they should do this. I think they should bring Udoh back. I think they should bring back Corey Levin. And between Moss or Hans, I think you should bring back all your guys with a new staff. And I think when you trade back, if there's a really good guard on the board, you take him. because you got to think after next year, you could do that and put that guard there. Or if there's a really good tackle in the draft, if it's a really good tackle you like in the draft, whether he's left or if he's left, you just do this until you can move Dan Moore. If he's a right tackle, then you just do this. You green Jackson Slater for the center position, and you move JC inside, and then you put your drafted tackle there. Then you still got Crenshaw, Dixon, and Oli Udoh that can swing. I think that's the direction that you got to go with your line, and just give yourself the most amount of options, because you go for another veteran right guard. It's not a long-term solution. There won't be any veteran left tackles out there. I think that's the only. I think the move Cushenberry would be a waste of resources, so to speak. So I think that's the direction that you go with that. I think you take another late round tight end, but I really think you work out a team friendly deal and extend Chig for cheap, because you're gonna have plenty of money. So I think if you were going to go, I think you at receiver, I just think you got to go straight draft. I think you got to draft. On my last draft board, I had Chris Brazil out of Tennessee as the one, and then I drafted Georgia's I can pull it up for y'all. Hold on 1 second. And this is my mock draft last night. I had Ola Leon out of Penn State, and I moved him to guard. I had Chris Brazil, I had AJ Harris, Deontay Lawson, Zachariah Branch. So, Austin Barber, offensive tackle out of Florida, Dalen Everett out of Georgia, Joe Royer, tight end, Cincinnati, edge, Zion Young out of Missouri, Raleek Brown, running back, and then safety, Michael Taft. And reason why I took those positions and those players, because I felt like they was best available when I took them. So, like, if you got a couple of tackles that you could groom to play behind these tackles, that if they outplay them, they just don't give their job back. If I went that way, I would have took that Penn State guard and put him right here, and then I would have moved Jackson Slater and groomed him for center. So it's like, these the directions that they got to go in. You put Zachariah Branch and Chris Brazil with Tim DK, Aomana, and Restrepo. Like, that's a young solid core without me having to try to go in free agency and sign another wide receiver. KT said a couple Penn State legends. And then on defense, Xavier Woods has got another year on his contract. Mike Brown, Jared Reed out of there. Kendall Brooks, I like him. He's good in special teams. He was hurt last week. But, Michael Taft going right here. Arden Key contract is up. Joseph Day, I think that he's a person they should bring back. So, like, this is what I mean at corner. Let me show you how they look at corner now. Need Michael Robinson be special teams. Yeah. Jalen Armour Davis. All right. Armour Davis is on a 1 year. No. Sneed, they're gonna cut Sneed. I think you have to do like this. I think you gotta say that, like, let me put Elam right there. And if you look at my draft board, AJ Harris and Dalen Everett is two guys that could be starting outside corners in the future. But the only place that I might burn some money at is, I don't think you can get Tariq Woolen, but you go get Josh Williams off the Chiefs, and You put him, Elam, and Bake with Marcus Harris and Michael Robinson. And now you put AJ Harris and Dalen Everett in this mix. So like, let's say if they all fight it out talent wise, Michael Robinson and Darrell Baker would be special teamers in practice squad, and you'd have Elam and Josh Williams would be your backup corners, and you have Dalen Everett and AJ Harris that could work their way in, and you have a good rotation of corners that this looks more talented. If you had the other two rookies, and you have Baker Jr. and Michael Robinson behind that, like, you going really deep, and all these guys are big and physical and fast of what they want in the future. And then, you put Arvell Reese right here, opposite of Femi Healthy, with Cody Barton and Cedric Gray, Deontay Lawson right here to take over for Barton in the future. And you got James Williams behind Cedric Gray. And then you put Zion Young right here. Zion Young would rotate in with Femi. And then what you do, you got CJ Ravenel. You put Sebastian Joseph Day here. And you really could have a deep rotation, of guys interior. You got T Sweat, Big Jeff, Sebastian Joseph Day. And then you say between CJ Ravenel and James Lynch, okay, which one of these we gonna let he leave here? You can leave and put one on practice squad. And then you got Femi, Arvell Reese, Zion Young. You could bring back Jahad Ward to play backup behind Arvell Reese. You could get really deep with your team if you were to approach it that way. And when you look at, the draft board I got, that's not even going heavy on free agency. You still take some of that money and extend Big Jeff and extend Peter Skoronski early. And, this leave it where in my mock, I had Dallas's first, Indy's first, and Green Bay second because I traded twice in the draft. So you got 3 first-round picks in 2 seconds the next year to go after a Jeremiah Smith or somebody that you want in the draft that is a game changer, because you put Joe Royer in the mix with Gunnar Helm and Chig. Then if Joe Royer pan out, then you could take Chig and trade him in the future, and you get something back. You get your draft pick back out of it, because then see, that's how you rotate a roster, because Joe Royer would be like a 6th round pick. You picking a 5th or 6th round pick in Joe Royer. You could get that back out of Chig if you trade it in the future if the guy panned out. But it gives you a deeper room. Titans got to get deeper on the 53 all around, not just one position. All around, they got to get deeper on the 53. But I like the offense to build young like this. That would have gave them Crenshaw Dixon, it would have gave them Austin Barber and Dan Moore. It would have gave them Oli Udoh, JC Latham, and then you'd have had Ola and Jackson Slater right here. But if that was to happen, then I get rid of Blake Hands, and I groom Jackson Slater as my new center behind Lloyd Cushenberry for when he leave, and then I got 2 tackles behind Moore, or 1 tackle behind JC, and then I got a starting right guard there. So then, even by that, it's like you building for the future, and you building young with longevity, and you're not having to spend a lot of money in one place. And then when you look at like a Michael Taft, you take a safety late like that, eventually then that's you trade Imani off, and you got Taft and Kevin Winston back deep, or Zaki, another safety I would have liked in this spot in my other mocks is Zaki Wheatley out of Penn State. But Bray Hubbard, Keon Sabb, there's some guys I like at safety. But that's how the Titans need to build. And that gives them a young base without having to spend too much money in free agency. But then, to be fair, if the Titans was able to land a real goon in free agency. At edge, now you're not dying to have Ruben Bain or RVL Reese at the top of the draft. You could even trade back and go and get even more if you did something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really could get crazy in the draft if you was to do something like that. Then there might be a shot where you could take a Jeremiah Love or take one of the Carnell Tate or somebody up high. Like, you know, you might like that would be the way in which you would do that. You see what I'm saying? Like that's how you could play around with your roster without having to spend all your cap space trying to chase after one guy who's not going to fix the team, but overall you can make your overall team better. Like that's how you can overall make a team better without having to spend all your cap space trying to get one guy to make the team better, or you go in the draft and you could truly go best player available if you had something like that. Man, Patriots is really putting belt on these boys though. He said that I turned the game off at half. No, I want to watch this. Where Mont and 2 times at. I want them to sit here and look at this shit. Is this another slap in the face to the Titans to watch Mike Vrabel have another masterclass in a primetime game? Is this where we're watching? Mont is not a Panthers fan. Y'all can't be letting these guys off the hook like this. Mont is not a Panthers fan. Y'all can't just let Mont just, oh, I'm a Panther. Like, nah, Mont. You gotta stay here and take this. Famous words of P. Diddy. Take that, take that, take that, take that. Because when they first put Jackson Dart in, you couldn't shut them them Giant fans up. But I like Jackson Dart though. I just hope that Jackson Dart don't get himself hurt with all this like random ass running he do. You said if you win a playoff game only now. I mean, he got to get to the AFC title game with the Patriots for it to really sting. But I mean, every time you watch Mike Vrabel, what he's done with the Patriots in year one, as a Titan fan, watching what we put on the field on Sundays, it hurts. You know what I'm saying? It hurts. Oh yeah, Dart took some unnecessary ass hits. Dart took some unnecessary ass hits. Yeah, he getting his guys, and it's like, you know, looking at more and more of the misses that we've had. It's a tough thing to look at. I need Travion Henderson to do some stat padding. Is Tyrone Tracy not playing for the Giants today? Is Tyrone Tracy not playing for the Giants? People forget we the ones that put the bullet in the past dynasty head. Yeah. But we ain't do nothing with it though. We let Patrick Mahomes put us to bed. Patrick Mahomes put us to sleep. I need Henderson to get about 50 more yards receiving and running. And I need Tyrone Tracy to get a few yards. He ain't got to get a lot, just a little bit of Tyrone. Who I took in rank, I took the D tackle. I really don't need nothing. I ain't even been playing the game enough to even really care, to be honest. You know, if I'm being real, I just play enough to keep my team updated. Who you pick? Said fantasy was good this week. How do you get the B&D collector series, the 92s? How you get those? Is this something I'm missing? How you get the B&D 92s? Do the set, because I did the set and it gave me it didn't give me it didn't give me Albert Hainsworth. Like Albert Hainsworth ain't in my like I didn't see Albert Hainsworth in the group. You took RG3. I'm still rocking Cam Ward. It said he in there now. Yeah, exactly. Chronic. I'm still. Pass lead elite. What's crazy is Drake May still going up top on them. You gonna take Queen this time? I wonder why my collector series I gotta do the one that's got to get okay. You gotta do the one that's got the expensive ones. Let's see, 300. Oh, okay. 1.2. Oh, that's how you get the super. Okay. I'm tripping, y'all. Not didn't do the wrong set. I'm looking at the whatchamacallit. You talking about the one where you all I see I got all them people, but they like I got a lot of them B and D. Like that's the one where you buy them and then you get them back. And see, I could sell Eddie George or Bruce Matthews and go through it and get it back and then buy them back. I could just do that and then just buy them back when it's over. I forgot all about that. Okay.
Let me teach you how to
I mean,
vibe.
Lamar missed like a whole month of football. And Josh Allen, they've been rotating receivers trying to figure it out. Oh, okay. Yeah. I see what you mean. That's the ultimate retro series player. Let me see if there's a way I can get these 92s non-B and D. You see, I got a lot of people being, my whole team is just about B and D, so I gotta find a way to put that set together. But I really don't need it. Because all the ones I just be doing it to get an Albert Hainsworth. It's almost not even worth it. Tyrone Tracy in there. And get Tracy the ball, man. See, Jackson Dart gonna get himself killed. For all y'all Jackson Dart lovers, the boy ain't gonna last long the way he play. Let's go, Tracy. Say, can you see the team? Oh, my team is ass. I got Will Anderson and Arden Key. But Arden Key play inside. Like right now, I got Ted Hendricks is rusher. I could put Dr. Doom in. I'm waiting on his redux. I got Will Anderson, Big Jeff, Arden Key because he gets 0 AP, double or nothing. So I just got double or nothings everywhere. Cheeto and Talib in the slot, Jesse Bates and Nubin. There, I got McCollum and Jamal Adams deep. Porter, Samairo, Cheeto, and Talib. I got a very basic team. Hey, two-time, man, how's the game going? How's the Giant game going? Giant game going your way two-time? My TV ain't working. How's the game going, brother? My TV. Surely you're watching, right? Man, go and send us Kayvon Thibodeau. Two-time, go and send us Kayvon Thibodeau, man. Mont gone now. It's just you. Mont then left you alone. Like, you by yourself, man. I won't judge you if you let us have Kayvon Thibodeau. You know what I'm saying? Like, he not even here to judge you for giving up on the team and letting us have one of y'all star players. Your New York Giant brothers have left you here to wave the flag, so you don't feel bad if you rat or you let go. The shopper take care of you, man. Your giant brothers don't really love you. Your giant brothers don't really love you, man. They left you to rot. He said, I'm with you two times, don't cave. Cave, send us Kayvon Thibodeau to help us with our rebuild. He all talk right now, man. He too. Tom Ingram gonna leave you. He ain't really with you to the end like Chucky. This ain't friends to the end. He gonna give up on you, bro. Y'all still got Brian Burns and Abdul Carter watching flicks in the team meeting. Yo, y'all wanted us to pass on Cam Ward to draft a guy watching flicks in the team meeting. That boy, he a FAN. He's 69 God. That man just did a Tennessee Titans celebration, Devin Singletary. He just did the Chopper City juke that Chris Johnson do, and then the Cam Ward. That man just did every Tennessee Titans celebration ever in his celebration. That's love. Don't want who? We don't want who? I didn't say nothing about single. I said he did every Tennessee Titans celebration. I didn't say we wanted him. I said we want Kayvon Thibodeau. I didn't say nothing about no Singletary. I said he did every Tennessee Titans celebration. Look, you gotta respect when people show love to you, man. Guys. Yeah, I gotta take it when it comes. Pause. He was telling Kayvon, get ready to do these celebrations. Okay, now I'm with you. Now I'm with you. Man, Patriots offense just look efficient. Legend, what's good, my boy? How was the holidays, bro? All right, it's that time of night, man. If y'all on YouTube and Facebook, Shotbybuddha on Kick, Shotbybuddha FB on Twitch. Time to shut down the Shop Talk. Highlights will be up on YouTube tomorrow. 30-second reset, and we'll be live again. God first in the chat.